And I sit back and I always try to see it from both sides. You feel me? I try to see it from the younger people's side to cats ages that's my age. You know what I mean? 40s, late 30s. You know, who would be deemed like your OGs now, right? 40, 50 and everything. And I always come to the conclusion, like, why though? Like really, why should a young motherfucker in this generation, in this new world, sit back and listen to an older cat? Because most of the older cats is bummy though, right?
It's different levels of manhood, right? It's different levels. So, you got adolescence, you know what I'm saying? You got your warriorhood, your youth, your warriorhood, and then you got your adulthood, and then you ultimately graduate, inshallah, if you make it to your elderhood, right?
Talk to me.
And we was raised to be a certain way all through it. That criminality, that child soldier that I was programmed to be as a kid, and then all the things I believed and what I thought was what I was supposed to do and all that type of stuff, it still don't get you nothing. You know what I mean? Like, what it look like, I say it like this. The game will break your heart, boy.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? If you don't know that, but it go back to this. Another OG told me, he said, you take something from the table and leave the rest there.
A lot of us gotta snap into reality and realize we still living in our high school teenager days. You feel me? Like the highlights of life are our biggest monumental accomplishments for the most part, all back within our teenage years. Like we was the high school football linebacker, you feel me? But we 30, 40, some of us 50. We ain't making no growth. You feel me? Like there ain't no monumental accomplishments. What can we say we done did? And don't get me wrong, like if you staying out and you got a 9 to 5 and you doing your thing and you staying out, that's the biggest success you could ever do. But if you striving for greater, if you really trying to leave a legacy of greatness though, like you ain't gonna just settle for just, you know what I mean? Just the status quo, the everyday, the natural, normal thing. Nah, I don't think so. So I sat back and asked myself, like, should the young cats really sit back and pay heed to some of the OGs? And I think, don't get me wrong, you can get wisdom and knowledge from a base head, but at the end of the day, like what is a young motherfucker really getting from an OG? Like, is they really curving them, or are they just giving them that cliche, stay out the streets, don't do this? But then, you know what I mean? The young cats is so smart. They sat back and they looking at these motherfuckers, the older cats, and they like, man, I don't want to be like this motherfucker. So of course I ain't gonna listen to nothing this motherfucker say. So I don't know. It's a real two-sided argument. You feel me? Because I can see both flips of the coin. This is a whole new world, and these kids nowadays. When I say kids, I mean like teenagers and the young population. They've got ways to make money, and a lot of them are doing so much better than our generation was, because there's so many outlets and ways to go about it. When I was young, all those outlets wasn't there. You got to remember, this is back before, with caller ID, when, you know what I mean, cable boxes were just barely getting put into the house. Like, you know what I mean? There wasn't all the information and the connections and so forth. Like, so, I mean, the younger generation is very privileged, in my humblest of opinion, of all the technology and everything they have at their fingertips. I mean, you literally got the world in your hands, you feel me? But the older generation is struggling though, you feel me? Like they struggle to keep up with the technology. Don't let you have went to the penitentiary or go to the penitentiary in these age brackets, because by the time you're going to get out, you're going to be a dinosaur. And I can say that firsthand, because you got to think, I went to prison in 2003. I missed the whole MySpace, Facebook. I missed all that shit. I never seen that. Never took part in none of that shit. I missed that whole revolution of life and got out in 2014. And ultimately, all this shit is just normal and every day. And, but I mean, what can I do? I can't sit back and complain about no shit like that. I gotta get emotion. I gotta get educated. And a lot of that shit I was doing while I was in there, because I ain't had nothing but time. I had free time, literally free motherfucking time that a majority of people in this life, they don't really even get why they out here. It's priceless time. But at the end of the day, I don't want to put the spotlight on me, because, we talking about in general, right? We talking about the people that's older now, the OGs. And then you gotta think of a lot of the real OGs that is really, you know, trail to the motherfucking core, they dead. They ain't even around here to speak and give no knowledge or none of that shit. They dead for whatever reasons. They ain't make it this far. The other ones, they locked up and they need to pay for a phone call out here. And I'm sure they wise as ever why they on the inside, but I can guarantee you everybody that's on that inside is wishing they could change up one decision just to get back out here where we all at right now, to be able to go back and change that decision so they can live their life, because your life stands still when you go behind them walls. So I don't know. I know when you're young and you go behind them walls, you're more adaptable to paying heed to the OGs though, right? Because behind them walls, ultimately life is on a respect level. You know, there's a hierarchy of where everybody fits in. And you know, your word is everything that you have. Everything back there is based on respect. Out here, you know, you could flip and flam and be whoever the fuck you want to be out here any day, whatever. Nobody cares. There's no punishment or anything that comes along with getting out of line. None of that shit. But you know, the kicker is back there, like the OGs is OGs and they stand out. They shining bright like stars because they so wise. But out here, the OGs out here be burnt out, smoking Newport 100s. Majority of the OGs out here don't even work out no more. They don't, shoulder injury, you know what I mean? Or some shit. Who the fuck knows? They smoking Newport 100s. They motherfucking steady drinking, and all they got is some motherfucking war stories of a time that been past, decades, life that had been past. We ain't in high school no more. Let's talk about something more relevant. What about the price of Bitcoin? What about, you know what I mean? Like where is the good game? But the good game ain't there no more. It's there to defeat you. It ain't there to take you up a notch. So you got to always watch your conversations with these people out here nowadays, because you know, the OGs they got life experience, right? Whether they smoked out, whatever it is, they got life experience that they could give the young cat if the young cat would listen. But I mean, it's a two-sided street, you know what I mean? But for me, I know I can get wisdom from a base head, you know what I mean? I don't feel like I'm a higher abover, you know what I mean? I can see where a motherfucker might think sometimes I might come across like that, but really at the end of the day, I've been on both spectrums. You know, I've never had it all the way, like, you know, like financially free. Like I'm always hustling. I'm always trying to figure a way to make more money, but ultimately, I done been at the bottom of the pyramid, and I'm be working my little way up. You know what I mean? But it's a process, and it's the life process for me, because that's the shit I'm motivated by. I'm money motivated to the core. You feel me? That's the shit that's always been embedded in me since I was a kid. This ain't no shit I just motherfucking. This shit is like in my DNA. I go like this because this is who I am. You feel me? But the kicker is though, this young generation, why should they even listen to the older cats? You know, y'all tell me what y'all think, though. Drop them comments below and tell me which side you on. You think young cats really should peep game from the cats that's OGs right now? And do you think the OGs really should sit back and take heed and respect these young cats even though they don't give a fuck? What y'all think? Tap in.